Hey guys, welcome back to Moonli. My name is Arin. I am a functional nutritional therapy practitioner, and today we're going to be talking about how to start healing your acne naturally, what is it, and what are my top recommendations as a nutritionist. First of all, there is a difference between acne and pimples. Acne is actually a chronic condition. Pimples are usually something we see pop up, maybe one or two occasionally, especially right before your period. Acne is something where someone is dealing with it all the time, and usually all over their face, might be on their back, on their chest as well. And so when it comes to chronic acne, we're looking at the hair follicles, or what you like to call the pores, and how that is going to be either infected or inflamed and causing things like chronic acne. Now, what we're going to be talking about today in terms of chronic acne, there's PCOS, polycystic ovarian system, which is associated with acne. There's some people who have regular chronic acne, and then people who occasionally get pimples. People who notice that they get pimples right before their period, that is actually called PMS. That is a symptom of PMS, and that has to typically do with low progesterone levels. We won't be talking about that today, but we will talk about that another time. When it comes to PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, one of the symptoms is pimples or chronic acne, alongside other things like irregular periods, missing periods, weight gain, hair loss or hair growth in more male pattern areas such as your chin, your upper lip, or even your chest. And today when we're talking about acne, I do believe that all of these things are super important, but these are definitely for my people who have chronic acne. If your body is showing a symptom, it is telling you that something else is going on. And so that's what we're gonna do with my recommendations. So from a nutritional perspective, two of the top things I often notice with my clients and people in general when it comes to chronic acne is the gut and the liver and gallbladder function. So when we're looking at the gut is home to everything. If your gut is out of balance, everything else is out of balance. And so when we're looking at, a weak gut microbiome, which basically means there is bacteria in there that is not cooperating properly. There's one that might have too much, and then because there's too much of one, there's not enough of the others, which means your body can actually not go into homeostasis without that balanced microbiome, and you start to see other symptoms and even chronic conditions that are related back to imbalanced gut microbiome, such as they know that a lot of autoimmune diseases benefit from the anti-inflammatory diet, and all of that has to do with the gut. And so, for example, if you notice you have a white coated tongue or you deal with chronic yeast infections, what they have found is, yes, those are yeast infections, but a lot of that can go back to your gut as well. Typically, if there's a yeast infection going on in your vagina, or you see the thrush on your tongue, there's likely also something going on with your actual intestines. So that's what we really want to focus on, is balancing out the gut microbiome. This can greatly impact someone's acne experience. And then your liver and gallbladder is your best friend. You want to support them as much as you can, and your liver and gallbladder is responsible for detoxing. Our main three detoxing areas are pooping, peeing, and sweating. And so a lot of people I know with acne might deal with like oiliness, but essentially you need your pores to sweat. So if you are getting acne, that means that those pores are not actually being able to detox properly, which can cause things like acne. So what are my top recommendations when it comes to start healing your acne naturally? Look at the root cause. So number one, I want you to look at your products. What products are you using? Not only the ones on your face, but which ones are you using all over your body? Are there a lot of chemicals in it? Is there something in it that you might be allergic to? Allergies is a massive one, but the chemicals that we use on our body are gonna show up eventually over time when our body starts to struggle with that overload. So look at your products and consider swapping to either something you can DIY at home, or consider swapping to something else at the store that's more natural, more organic, because that is going to impact your skin, your hormones, and everything else. So make sure that you look at your products all over the house. We talked about the gut microbiome. So if you have a weak gut microbiome, so one of the things you can do is you can actually invest in a quality probiotic. And when I mean quality probiotic, you want to get a probiotic that is in dark glass. You want it to have at least 6, I would say 8 plus bacterial strains in it. Most of the time when you go to the pharmacy or you go to your health food store, you're gonna see a probiotic. It has a list of the actual bacteria that's on the back. Most of the time there's only 3 or 4. I want you to get up to 8 plus, and they're typically not the cheapest, I'm not gonna lie. And there are some probiotics that I recommend that don't have to be refrigerated, but refrigerated probiotics are probably one of the best, because that refrigeration period is actually keeping that bacteria alive. So when you actually swallow your tablet, you're actually getting live bacteria bacteria going in there. Another way you can support your gut microbiome is starting to eat more prebiotic foods and probiotic foods. So you need prebiotic foods in there so that when you get these probiotics, they can all work together and work properly. So a good prebiotic food is basically anything high in fiber. So apples, pears, potatoes, sweet potatoes, brown rice, quinoa. Really make sure that you are getting those really good prebiotics in there. And then some other areas, natural areas of getting probiotics is fermented food, sauerkraut, yogurt, kimchi, kombucha, because kombucha is super in. Most of the time when you are getting sauerkraut or kombucha from your local food store, it's actually not full of the bacteria that you need. So one of the things I highly recommend is either going to your health food store and investing in those actually quality probiotic foods like sauerkraut or kimchi. However, if you cannot get these, you can easily make them at home and save more money. Me and my partner make all of ours, and I actually have seen a major difference in my gut, like especially with kombucha. It surprised me that you can enjoy a drink and also get the benefit. I highly recommend making it at home or truly investing that money and time, because these are all full of prebiotics, probiotics. They're going to get in there, they're going to support your gut microbiome, which is going to help you absorb your nutrients, use your food properly for your protein, carb, and fat to help support and give energy to the rest of your body, which leads us into your liver and gallbladder. So when it comes to supporting your liver and gallbladder, since we talked about your liver and gallbladder being your main detox area, and there's 3 areas of detox that it goes after that, this is where you're gonna wanna support this. So one of the biggest things I'm gonna say is start eating more cruciferous vegetables. These are things like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, kale. All of these have amazing nutrients in them. They also have something in them called DIM, and DIM helps our body process and detox estrogen properly, which can also be taxing on the liver. So you might have, excess estrogen or estrogen dominance going on in your body. Do you have painful periods? Do you have PMS, endo, fibroids? You're probably in this area. Make sure that you're supporting your liver and gallbladder and detoxing excess estrogen, because there is too much estrogen circulating in your body and your body is not properly able to get rid of it. It might cause symptoms such as your acne, and liver and gallbladder is going to play into your detox so much. So eat those cruciferous vegetables, but also remember, make sure you're pooping at least once a day, pooping one good quality poop. I'll attach the chart to show you like what a good quality poop is. Number 2, make sure that you are peeing and drinking enough water to support that urination every day, because peeing is also one of our detox methods. And make sure that you are sweating. We talked a bit about sweating. If there is any type of bacteria or anything like that on our skin, when we sweat, we are helping that get off of our skin and out of our system. But if there is some type of blockage already from the gut, the liver, gallbladder, or just something on your skin, it's not gonna be able to detox properly. So make sure that you're sweating at least once a day. I'm not saying go have, a 2-hour HIIT workout, but I'm saying go on your walks and have a good workout where you actually noticeably notice sweat on your face, in your armpits, maybe in your butt. Other thing that you can look at is possible food issues. So one of the biggest things that I've noticed is people who have chronic acne and also things like PCOS really deal with things like issues with dairy, refined carbs, and refined sugar, and they usually eat these in really high amounts, which is going to play into your acne so much. I would highly recommend removing dairy for 60 to 90 days, or one of the other things you can do if you're not ready to remove dairy is you can switch to goat's and sheep's milk, which has been shown to be less inflammatory because it doesn't contain the A1 protein, which is what cows contain. So cow's milk contains A1, A2 protein. They have found that there is an association between the A1 protein and a lot of chronic conditions and inflammation. So I would highly recommend either switching to goat's and sheep's milk, or if you're not ready to make that really big transition of just cutting out dairy for 60 to 90 days, I would recommend switching to grass-fed and pasture-raised. I have seen this time and time again where women have removed dairy out of their diet, and that has taken away their acne. Like, they haven't had to deal with it at all. However, they did decide to add in pasture-raised or grass-fed milk and still did not have any issue. What it comes down to, is it that the A1 protein is actually inflammatory, or is it that modern day agriculture and the ways we raise our cows and the hormones and chemicals that are put into their bodies make our way to our bodies, which causes inflammation and things like chronic acne. And like I said earlier, refined carbs and refined sugar. So if you find yourself eating a lot of pastries, cupcakes, cakes, donuts, anything that's white and fluffy and not enough whole foods, you are going to see inflammation. And these are also things like white sugar, brown sugar, powdered sugar, icing sugar. We are actually only meant to have around 6 grams of sugar a day. That's why it is important to make sure that these things can cause an insane amount of inflammation. Start reducing your amount of, white pasta, white bread, white pastries, and start getting, the sourdough, wholemeal bread, or getting legume-based pasta, and instead of using white sugar, powdered sugar, icing sugar, start to use more natural sugars like stevia, especially from the plant. If you can get it from your plant, stevia is even better. Maple syrup and honey can also be great additions. But remember, when you are starting to replace for sugar, your goal is also to start reducing your sugar. So don't just, try to eat a cup of honey every day. Try to also reduce your sugar while also having a good sugar replacement. There are some nutrients that are directly linked to things like acne. So you're gonna wanna increase your things like zinc, vitamin C, copper, and your B complex. So all of these are going to help your digestion, your hydrochloric acid, your liver and gallbladder, and it's gonna help you start to reduce those acne that you're dealing with. So you're gonna find that oysters are super high in zinc, and pretty much any type of meat, especially red meat. When it comes to copper, for my people that love dark chocolate, this is your area. Dark chocolate is so high in copper, and it's beautiful because you actually need copper to balance out zinc, and you need zinc to balance out copper. So what you can do is start making your own homemade dark chocolate. That is delicious. Or finding a really good quality brand of dark chocolate that doesn't use a lot of added sugar or any at all. You want to go for about that 90% dark chocolate. Vitamin C you're going to get from your things like all of your citrus. So your lemons, your oranges, your kiwis, any of those, capsicums or bell peppers are super high in vitamin C. So you're going to make sure you're getting those as well. And some other areas you can do to support that is actually getting outside and really getting into the sun, especially if you have brown skin. It takes us longer to absorb vitamin D, which is essential to all nutrients, all hormones, and how our body detoxes and how we also help our skin. Lastly, your B vitamins are pretty much almost in every natural food. Things that are super high in B complexes are things like oysters, chicken, turkey, lamb, dark green vegetables, things like cruciferous vegetables. These are some of the areas that I would start with if you suffer from chronic acne to heal it naturally. I know this is a lot of steps. Don't feel like you have to take it all out on one. Start with one thing and work your way through. I would highly recommend, if you're going to work this way through over a couple of months, start with getting a good probiotic, start making your own homemade, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, and try removing dairy, whether or not you decide to replace it with grass-fed pasture-raised or replace it with goat and sheep, but try to replace all of your dairy. So that's milk, yogurt, and cheese. All right, so I hope this video is super helpful. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. I know, from people that I work with, from friends that I've had, that dealing with chronic acne can be just such a really hard experience to be dealing with. And I hope that this advice helps anyone out there, for those especially that want to do it naturally and aren't ready to start going with the medications, because sometimes those medications can have side effects, make someone not feel good. Yeah, I just want everyone to feel empowered and to have these answers. So let me know if you have any questions. You can email me, comment below, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, like, comment. Anything helps, but also I want to be able to continue to give information on this channel. We're going to be doing much more stuff around acne, and I am super excited. So thanks for visiting Moonli, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.